So wasn't that comment the ultimate tell that it's actually Jacoby Brissett?
Yes.
I mean, wasn't that it?
Yes.
Isn't that the answer?
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much.
I think that was his way of saying, I'm telling you without telling you. That later, down the road, those of you who want Drake May, sit tight. It's coming. We're just not ready to do it yet. That's how I took it. Now, why didn't they just come out and say that? You got me.
Well, he wants to tell the team first, which I get. But here's what I don't get. They're practicing today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, guys.
Exactly.
Huddle up, Or he could have walked through the locker room. And I know the team meetings are in the meeting room. I get it, but that feels sort of flimsy to me. Like, they're all there today. They're practicing. They're there. Is there, there's no way to communicate that before? Or why didn't he could easily have done it at the beginning of practice today.
Correct.
Again, huddle up. It's not 90 guys. It's 55 or whatever is there. So it's not too big of a huddle where you can be heard. And you tell everybody the decision, and then you do the press conference afterwards if you want to do it that way. I'm all for telling the team first and then the public. That's how you should do it. So he's right on that. But it's just, that feels kind of flimsy that they're all there today, but he has to wait. He couldn't get the full squad together to tell them before he told us. It's sort of I'm just curious about what's going on there with that.
Yeah, why wait? Are some of the older players, veterans on the team, going to be disappointed because Drake May supposedly has outplayed Jacoby Brissett? They're going to be bummed that they don't go with the rookie who's been the better quarterback. Since he took this job and this whole summer, and I think this is proof again, he just speaks with a lack of conviction. If it's going to be Brissett, then just say it. Don't even say the part about, hang tight. Eventually you're going to see the kid, because that's what that sounded like as part of that quote there. Why do that? How does that set up Jacoby Brissett for any kind of success, even early on? Just go with the guy you're going with and don't say anything else.
So I think he was actually asked it, though, in the press conference, right, where he said something to the effect of, look, it's been kind of crazy, busy time. Yeah. We got all these roster moves going on, et cetera, and I just haven't had a chance to do it yet, whatever. But I would say they knew this was coming. They knew this was coming. So, look, I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I can see where they would be busy with all the waiver acquisitions and things like that. And the other part of the comment that did strike me as interesting, just quickly, is him saying, this is my decision, blame me.
So we're going to get to that. Let me just give you one more that I think pointed to Jacoby Brissett being the guy. Because Jerod Mayo, along with everybody else, has acknowledged that Drake May has outperformed Jacoby Brissett recently. And so if this is a competition and Drake May has outperformed Jacoby Brissett, it's Drake May, right? Jimmy, this is going to be, I just had it, and now wait, it's number 10. Mayo number 10 about the full body of work.
I think the important thing for me is the full body of work. And so when I say competition, it's not just one day or one game. It's everything. And like I said earlier, you have to weight. There's different weights to those things that they do particularly well or not well. And so to me, it's the full body of work, the spring, the summer, and all of those things.
Okay, so that was another tell, because in the spring and early summer, Brissett was clearly better, right? So that's just what I took from that. And I think it is Brissett. I find it curious how they're going about it. But Jimmy Stewart is someone who thinks that it's Drake May. Why do you think it's Drake May, Jimmy?
He would have said his name clear as day. Jacoby Brissett is the number one quarterback, and that would be it. He has to talk to people before he can announce the decision, which leads me to believe that it's Drake May, because if it's the rookie, if it's the guy who you haven't been saying is QB1, the starting quarterback, then it's an easy, you just say it, but now he's got to talk to the veterans, make sure everybody's aligned. This is the direction that we're going in. That's why I think he's going to announce Drake May tomorrow as the starter.
I mean, you could read the thing about when the cut that we led with, that it's not just about today, it's about what's best for the future of the organization. You could read that if you want as being Drake May, where he would say, on day one, maybe he's not as ready as the other guy, but the long-term future of the team is about him and getting him work. So we'll take some lumps early on, even though he's not ready. We'll be better off in the long term because we're playing the kid. You could read it that way if you wanted to, right?
Oh, I did.
Sure, you can read it any way you want. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not how I read it.
No, me neither. See, I think Jimmy's half right in that I think it's Brissett. That's where I disagree with Jimmy. But I do think that Mayo's playing when I say playing, he's doing it. There's a political element involved of There are some key guys in the room that he has to talk to first to make sure that they get sold on the decision, as I would say any coach would do, or that coaches historically have done here, i.e. Belichick. Belichick had his guys. Mayo is probably cultivated his guys. Make sure that we get the right vibe in that room because we need everybody to be behind this. There might be something like that going on. I don't disagree with that.
Let's just go through some of the comments today, again, from the Jerod Mayo presser. How about number 2? This was the first time he addressed it, decision and the need to communicate it.
Jerod, can you give us any information on who you started quarterback?
Yeah, so, I know everyone wants to know that. I'm going to talk to the individual players tomorrow. I'm going to have a team meeting tomorrow, and then I'll get it to you guys.
So does that assume you made the decision, you just haven't communicated it yesterday?
Yes, we've made a decision, just haven't communicated. And honestly, I want those guys to hear it first from me before they hear it from someone else.
Why can't it be done this morning?
Because I'd rather do it tomorrow. When we get, today, look, this morning was a hectic day. We were still working through the roster and things like that. And, as much as you want to have squad meetings, sometimes the time just doesn't permit that. I'll see you guys right here tomorrow. Is that it?
So he's not scheduled to talk tomorrow, unless I have that wrong. I looked today. I don't think he's on the docket.
There was a question about him talking tomorrow, and he's not scheduled to talk tomorrow.
Right. So, at the end there, he said, I'll see you guys here tomorrow. I don't think he was on the schedule. And I looked this morning specifically. And this is something Bill would do, too. He would announce it on a day where he wasn't scheduled to talk, or he'd do his press conference and then do the release or the transaction after he spoke so he doesn't have to answer for it. Right, Mazz?
Sure, of course. Bill did it all the time.
So I wonder if they're just drawing a page from that because they don't want Mayo to have to talk about the decision on the day they make it? Is that what's going on?
Maybe. I wouldn't rule that out. It's a good theory. I mean, again, he says too much most of the time. Today he sort of was a little more guarded and protected, but he gave some of the logic, or at least some of the explanation, not the logic.
The whole thing about talking to the players first is absolutely right and genuine, and what everyone does who has half a brain. Who's a coach of any team. You communicate with the players first before you talk publicly to anyone else. Duh, of course. The question is, why couldn't you do it this morning? And he was asked, you just heard that clip. Why not this morning? Well, full squad. It's hard to get it's a hectic day. You guys are in and out. It's hard to get the full squad to get what?
Hectic day. It takes 30 seconds. You bring the team together. Hey, Jacoby's starting. Hey, Drake May's starting. Hey, Milton Mania is real. Joe Milton's starting. And you go on with your day.
That part doesn't quite add up. They easily could have communicated it this morning to the players. So what is it? Does he not want to have to give the full explanation?
Does he have to get Elliot's approval first?
And tomorrow, well, I think
Does he have to get Robin and Jonathan's approval first?
Well, that part I think is real. I think there's probably an internal discussion still going on, and that's why someone hasn't been named yet.
Well,
does he have to get Bedard's approval first?
Wow. Do you? No. You don't think it's been decided? He needs approval? No. It's done.
Oh, I think it's done for sure.
Yeah, it's done.
Well, he definitely needs approval. It's not just him on his own making this decision. If you think that, I think you're crazy.
Agreed. Which is why, now Mazz's point, he doth protest a little too much about his decision. Number 4, Jimmy, go ahead, please. Number 4.
How many people we've talked about collaboration and being on the same page. How many people are involved with the decisions made in the quarterback? How many people are in the room saying, this is
it really, if you want to talk about the process, Alex, myself, we just have those conversations, but, he gets input from his coaches as well. And ultimately, it's my decision to make.
Okay, so he's more clear about this today than he's been at any point. This, I think, was a managed, coordinated response.
Definitely. Point of emphasis.
But definitely.
Point of emphasis. We're going to make it clear that this is your call because we want to empower you.
100%. And he went to it over and over and over again. Let's see. How about number 14? Does Elliott have a voice in the decision? Number 14.
back to the quarterbacks? Is Elliott involved in that conversation at all, too, in terms of, I think it's this guy. Does Elliott weigh in?
Look, he definitely weighs in, but I would say once again, it's my decision to make, and a lot of people have opinions on how they think about things, and I've lost quite a bit of sleep trying to think about this stuff as well. But I would ultimately put it on me.
Okay, do you believe that?
No. Not for a second.
Not at all.
Not for a second.
He was just too. It was too. it was too demonstrative. That's not exactly the right word, but
declarative.
You know what I mean? It was right. Thank you.
Matter of fact.
It was too declarative. All of a sudden,
and he said it multiple times
on a dime after all off season. He's talking about, well, Alex's head coach offense, and it's collaborative, and I'd like to think that I get to choose who goes out on the field. And it was the tone for 99 of the 100 days was collaborative, head coach offense. I'd like to think I'd decide. And then no, today it's like, no, it's my call. Like, that's just a little too declarative, a little too orchestrated for my liking.
Maybe Mike Lombardi got to him.
Someone got to, right? Exactly. Fair point, Mazz. And so I think it's odd. In Mayo declaring his independence and authority, I think he sounds even more like...
Yeah, he validated the fact that he doesn't have the decision.
Right? Because I feel like he was told to say, you're in charge.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I thought that was, again...
It's too obvious.
Yeah, I thought that somewhere, they were sitting in a room and someone said, here's what you're going to say today. And Mayo said, okay, fine, you tell me what to say, I'll say it.
And that's what it feels like to me. So
whereas the other guy never would have walked in the room in the first place.
It was a little too unnatural, inorganic for me to buy it. So they're trying. So like it's just they just betray themselves. It's just kind of obvious. So like once again, I'm sort of more interested in the process, the timing, the machinations of all of this, Mayo's authority, Mayo's command, who's in charge, how this is all coming out. Why are they really waiting another day? I mean, I'm pretty sure 31 of the 32 teams have now announced. Mike Tomlin today announced in Pittsburgh that it's Russell Wilson. Is there anything left?
Nope, they're the only ones left. The Patriots are the only one to not announce for week 1.
So what are they like? So this is that bucket of things is what I'm interested in.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.